We are living in the fifth dimensional consciousness, where we are creating our reality faster than we can imagine. And 95% of our lives are run and created by our subconscious programming. Imagine how your life will be when that 95% subconscious programming is set to attract, manifest, and create everything you desire. Would you like help to change yours? Join Tamra Oviatt in Living in Fifth Dimensional Consciousness here on OMTimes every week, where she will connect to the source energy and change your subconscious programming by deleting your negative belief systems. Tamra is the founder of Sacred Activations, a subconscious meta-programming process that rewires your brain and shifts hundreds of your belief systems so you can break away from lack, pain, and suffering and take control of what you want to create in your life. Tamra has helped hundreds of thousands of people worldwide, and she is here to help you too. It's not about fighting what you don't want. It's about creating what you do want. And the only way to do that is to change and upgrade your subconscious programming. Let Tamra help you create magic in your world. Join her now for Living in the Fifth Dimensional Consciousness.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm so excited this week. We have Reverend Paul here with us, and he's going all over the world doing this beautiful music. I know he has 8 albums out now. And he just met the Dalai Lama. Paul, please give us a background on how all of this got started.
Oh, well, okay. So hello, everyone. First of all, welcome. I always like to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Sort of the most important thing, I think, is to welcome everyone with love.
Yes.
So my story is sort of like everyone's, unique and big and wild and weird and wonderful. So I think ultimately, I mean, going back, I don't know how far you want me to go back, but long story short is really I woke up really in 2011, sort of right before the Mayan calendar sort of shift. And this is sort of interesting because I'm kind of in that 12-year sort of turnaround, which is interesting. But you know, ultimately, I woke up after my father's suicide in 2011, and I had an experience with God in front of the mirror the morning that he took his own life. And then ever since, God sort of showed me many, many things through that journey. But one of the big things, you know, source, God, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Someone told me recently you can call God pepperoni. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is that, you know, once that sort of experience happens, you can never sort of be the old version of you again. And I didn't realize sort of how much truth that really is until sort of probably more recently. But God showed me basically heaven is through the heart. You have to open your heart to God, and you have to basically realign your entire operating system, and you have to follow your heart at your compass. And it's not always easy because there's fear and traumas and triggers and everything else. And ultimately, I started following my heart. And God showed me basically at the piano that I would become a singer to help the world heal. And I sort of pushed back and was like, are you kidding me? No way. Like I was very in denial at the beginning of that. And I realized no matter what I did, I couldn't stop sort of my ascension. And no matter what I did to silence sort of this call, if you will, I recognized very quickly in 2011 into 2012 that I had to start answering it. And I started writing music, and music just started flooding through me. I wasn't really doing music. And I can't really explain anything other than just divine alignments just keep happening as I follow my heart. And I think that's how I serve God in the world. And I think we're in beautiful alchemical times during this shift as we shift ages. And in this deep shift, we've been prepared, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your story, how it just kept flooding in and just kept lining you up and bringing you forward in your journey. I think that happens to all of us, you know. And are we ready? No. Do we think we're capable of it, or we deserve it, or anything else like that? No. If I thought I was deserving of what I was doing, or really that I could do it, I don't think I would have even started yet.
Yeah, and
Well,
I know
I'm just now getting to that point where it's like it's it's okay to be doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But it took me a long time.
And you know, the thing that I recognize more and more is as we shift sort of into, I think, self-worth. You know, I
Yeah.
had so many negative messages, and I know we all do. So I'm not unique. I thought it was sort of comical. I used to go to a music school when I was a kid, and I sang for many different people, but always in a choir, and I never liked doing solo work ever. So I was sort of terrified of the stage. So I thought it was hilarious. God was like, "You'll go on the stage and you'll sing for people." And I had no idea how I was ever going to do that. And the first time I sang with Anita Morjani, I'll never forget this. I was so nervous that my foot on the stage pedal, I couldn't even use the sustain pedal on the piano. I was so shaky. And you know, over the years, you just sort of, I don't know what happened. Something starts to just calm you more and more as you get into public space. But it's an interesting ride to be on these wild journeys, and we're with beautiful old souls on Earth.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of us came in to help people to ascend to their awareness and their worthiness to do this. Because so many people don't think they're worthy or that they're capable of doing anything like you're doing.
Yeah. And, you know, just to add to the ascension sort of aspect, you brought up the word, and I think it's very important because I am actually an ascension guide. That is actually
Yeah.
what I am. So I'm that first, actually. And I help people, all that that really means is I help people be their highest self and manifest. And
Right.
all that that encompasses as I am ascended or ascending, as God is descending to us to help us sort of climb up to reach and keep that channel really clean and clear, and connected. So when I first started this, actually, and I've always been a medium, but I really sort of understood many things from the medium aspect. And then shifting into this, you have to sort of create your own language with spirit, with God, and it's almost like a new language has to be established, and messaging from, you know, the beloved, and when and where it happens. And I think ultimately at the beginning, I actually did a lot of telesummits, and I had hundreds and hundreds of people come my way from all over the world. And
Yeah.
while I was doing this music thing, I was also supporting people with divine love and God. And, you know, this is the thing, that we're in these times where we have to remember first that we are eternal and we are ascended beings ascending. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, and we actually came here to have this experience. We
Yeah.
came, we were disconnected and going through this process to really remember who we are, and that really nobody's better than anybody else. I mean, that's
Exactly.
such a message that I want to get out there to people, because they put people like you and I and other people on a pedestal.
Yep.
And, and I used to do that
Yep.
with people, and then they'd fall off the pedestal and I was so disappointed. you know
Well said.
yeah, so I mean, how do you handle that? I mean, how does that happen with you, that you're connecting with people and lining up with them and letting them know, that they are very capable of doing whatever it is they desire.
Well, first of all, I think that it's a process. So we're all here to support each other. And I like the idea that we're all walking home together. You know, we're all equals. We all have this divine free will. And we're way more powerful than we realize, always. And I think humility is something that's challenging, in the sense of the world in which we live, because we've been sort of in this multidimensional sort of reality, called life, for a while, and you have to recognize that it's multidimensional first. So I
Mhm.
try to remember that there's different rooms with different people, and there's different people at different levels of where they're at, and it helps me to decode where and what I'm interested in speaking about in certain rooms. And how to navigate that is really, you have to use your discernment on so many levels in this multidimensional soup dish, if you will, of this wild west world we live in. And for me, I really try to remember that at the end of the day, it's about leaving a trail of light behind me, so that whenever anybody looks back at the line of my lifeline, I want personally for myself to remember that I expanded divine love, as best I could. And I'm human, I make mistakes, but I try to own them. And just as an example, the old me would go through a drive-through and, if something wasn't right, I would be sort of annoyed. But I remember recently sort of reflecting on a moment where I went through a drive-through and somebody didn't give me something properly. And I sort of was a little bit not myself, and I was a little bit irritated. And I remember leaving, and I was like, "Oh, that didn't feel right." And I actually went through the drive-through again to apologize. And I think just,
Oh,
these are the kinds of things that we can remember to do if we've done something, to own,
yeah.
whatever that is, and sort of shift around and just stay humble in knowing that we're all doing the best we can in a traumatized world. Um,
Yeah.
and we've all been so traumatized, and this is a space and time of healing.
Yeah. And I like what you say that we've all been traumatized,
Yeah,
because I really think everybody's gone through their traumas
yeah,
and dramas. I really don't know anybody that I know personally on this planet that haven't had their traumas and dramas through life and their challenges.
yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
part of the script here.
Exactly. And it's part of the growing process. And I don't know why we grow more when we suffer, but somehow we do. And there's this thing that has to shift where you start to realize once you heal, it's sort of like heaven can be on this earth now once you own your
Right.
heart energy. And then you start to have reflections back. And Louise Hay, who's a great, I think a teacher for many of us, she,
Definitely.
what you put out comes back to you. So you have to realize that there's really only two pedals, like a car gas pedal. You have a gas pedal of love and you have a gas pedal of fear. And you have to become very conscious of what gas pedal you're pressing down. And the fear one needs to dissolve. And it's not easy to do, but you have to start putting down the gas pedal of love, and it will accelerate your life into a loving experience much faster. And that's sort of how I see it, anyways.
I absolutely love that. That's so easy to understand. And
Yeah,
it's true, because it's really just love or fear.
yeah,
So, what is it you want to experience? And like you were talking about the different rooms and the different levels, it's like, what a great explanation of that. Because there are so many of us in different rooms and different levels, but we all coexist and shift together as a group.
exactly, exactly. Beautifully said. Yeah.
So, tell me about the Dalai Lama and that trip where you got to share stage with him.
So, okay, so this year has been a little bit wild, and the last 3 years, I'll tell you, I think it needs to go back to, I want to sort of start with what happened in, I think 2020. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the global
Please.
pandemic. So, I studied science in college a number of years ago, and I studied physiology, pathology, anatomy, and treatments. And I worked in a clinic and a hospital a little bit when I was in school. So I have a pretty solid background of the basic sort of, I think, medicine system in the Western world, the Western model of medicine. But because it was an alternative school, I learned a lot about, I think, alternative medicine ultimately. And the reason why I say this is I was blindsided by 2020, blindsided. And like,
Yeah.
I think so many of us.
Yeah.
And for me, being Canadian, I wanted to be with my mother during that time. We also live in Bermuda. So I say this because I had a really big challenge with 2020, and it was not a space for me that was very. I didn't see it coming, so it really just I thought that we were further ahead than something like this happening. So that said, what happened during this time for me is I sort of stopped doing everything, other than just I sort of detached. And in 2021, I was asked by God to write my eighth album, which is Spheres of Love. And I remember thinking it was during Christmas time of 2020 into 2021. And I remember telling God, like, are you kidding me? There's no way. And so I sort of pushed back and I was like, I don't have an album in me. And then what happened is I couldn't leave it alone because I was asked. And I was like, oh God. So what happened is in January of 2021, as we shifted over into that new year, songs started coming to me at the piano when I would sit there and I was like, oh, you really want me to do this? So I started in my depression really to actually exercise my process of creating an album, which is behind me actually. This is the album cover, and I had this
That's
vision of
beautiful.
God showing me that your love and your light and your energy goes through your hands and you create life with it, and you co-create life with it. So the whole album was about this thing that I didn't have any of that to give during that time, and God was showing me what I needed to do, and I was very confused. So throughout the 9 months, miracles just happened with this album. And it was very interesting to me because it took exactly 9 months. And then I was recording it on my grandmother's 90th birthday, which is sort of weird. It was the only day my producer was available. And it was sort of one of those weird moments. And the thing that was funny about funding it is it was funded in less than 24 hours with over $24,000 like that. I've never had
Wow.
anything like that happen, okay?
Yeah.
So I usually have to work pretty hard to get the funding, and like, so it was just this one man donated $14,000. He's from
That's
Russia,
beautiful.
and he's
Yeah.
beautiful. He's a gorgeous
Yeah.
soul. And he just wanted me not to worry about anything. So he gave me that. This is before all that stuff with Russia happened. And what's really beautiful about this album is it just sort of started to have a momentum. And the thing that's very interesting, you asked about the Dalai Lama, and what's cool about this is I ended up using this album as my doctorate study for my interfaith ministry, which is, I can't even believe that even is the thing that happened during COVID. But
Yeah.
they accepted it, my musical album, as sort of part of my doctorate program. And I graduated with this beautiful degree in ministry, global ministry, in interfaith ministry. So all paths being honored to God. And so that happened. And then what's really wild, to top this all off, I met this woman that wrote 4 books with the Dalai Lama. And she's from France. So she lives just outside of Paris. And this was through my work being used for children over around the world for the Peace Tree Project.
Yeah.
And these two beautiful women sort of aligned me, sort of being invited to meet His Holiness. And we flew to Dharamsala, India, actually, is where he lives, which I didn't know. And we were so blessed to be in a private audience where he actually served us tea and cookies just a couple of weeks ago, really. And, meeting him was, he's 87 years old.
Yeah.
And I learned so many things about him because of going. I didn't realize he had been in exile so long, and I didn't really understand the whole story. But his beautiful energy, and I think being in a room of, where really important conversations about peace and world peace happen, and compassion. So
Yeah.
the thing that was so beautiful about his energy, he's very joyful, and he's a sweet man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really, really beautiful. So you won the award of global. Tell me about that. You wanted, how do you win global awards for music? I mean,
So I've won a few of them. It's very interesting to me when I look back at this. So my music's been used. I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. But the one that I'll start with, one sort of aspect of, I think, the most important moment for me as a musician, where I actually saw what I was doing was making things change. But I was invited by Dr. Christiane Northrup to San Diego, California, and this was in 2016. So this is before Louise Hay, who many people, know. She sold over, I think it's 70 million copies of her one book, You Can Heal Your Life, which is pretty
yeah,
profoundly huge. Like, from a
I went
numbers
through.
perspective, it's a big, big deal to sell 70 million copies.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's
I'd
probably
love
one
to
of,
sell 1 million copies
yeah,
of my
I
books.
know. Yeah, so this woman who was 90 years old at the time was having a public sort of, I guess, party to honor her 90th birthday. And Dr. Christiane Northrup actually and I surprised the audience that day with my song, My Heart. And this is a very interesting, my most famous song is My Heart. And it's basically just a song to put over, your hand on your own heart and say, I love you to yourself, for yourself, and from yourself. And, the thing that is very wild about that song is I had visions of it when I was probably about 15, that I would write a quantum heart love song. And when I was 15, I did not understand that at all. But when this song came through, it is the song that was recognized as this song, and it was told to me from my team. And I didn't really understand it when it was written, and I think I wrote it around 2013, 2012, 2013. And then that's the song that Christiane wanted to use to honor Louise Hay in front of 2,000 people. And I
Wow.
had this, as a medium, I get messages, as I know you do.
Right.
And we all do. I'm not unique, by the way. I understand it, and I'm here to
You
help.
listen.
Right. I'm here to help remind people it's a vibrational understanding of divine love, right?
Right.
So during that time, I had a message that this would be her last birthday. While I was actually at her 90th birthday, they raised $150,000 for the Hay Foundation, essentially for her charity. And she didn't take any of the money from that. It went back to the charity for her. And my song, I witnessed 2,000 people live streamed around the world putting their hands on their heart and honoring their own love while they honored Louise. And there was an energy in that room I've never felt it in any other room, because everybody was committed to understand self-love being, and Louise said nothing on the stage. She just let people love themselves with my song. And I don't know how to explain this, but something happened that day that shifted everything. And I think ever since then, I recognize that music is one of those things that is the most misunderstood. It's the most, I think, abused form of art there is, because it's the one thing that comes from the inside of literally a human being. And it's one of the only things that can get into the inside of another. And it's a vibrational understanding. So it's been used for really sinister things, in my opinion. And we
Yeah.
need to remember that it's also one of the most valuable things to communicate with each other with. And my job I think actually as a representative of God's love, is to remind people that, first of all, should you really take it for free? I don't know about that. I don't think a musician that actually gives love and light and peace should be actually struggling in this world. I think we
No.
should be thriving. So it gives
Yeah.
us the chance to really understand that, if you're not paying for music and you're paying for a book, or you pay for a value-based item, I think people need to start recognizing that if we want the world to change, we have to start with music. And it's because it's a frequency and a vibration understanding. So I feel like in that moment with Louise, I realized that our greatest challenge is understanding, as we shift into a value-based society, that we need to start understanding that we are part of it. If we want a different world, we have to sort of take the action to put the value where value actually is. And I think that comes to people like you, people like me, our audience as well. And as
Yeah.
we unite together with our love and our consciousness, things change very fast. And I think you're going to start to see that quantum leap forward now as we do that. And I think music's actually a really big part of it, in a way that I don't think people really understand yet, but they're going to. And I want to go back to Bruce Lipton, who was just with me, and I shared the stage with him in Copenhagen, Denmark, just this past September. And what's so cool about that moment is I got to sing for 1,000 people for 2 days. And
Wow.
one of my songs that I love from the Spheres of Love album is it's the title track, Spheres of Love, but the message of the song is heal the world. And I had this vision when I wrote this song, or when the song came to me from God, is that I wanted an audience to sing it with me, because when we heal the world together, like something happens when we sing this energy together.
Yeah.
There's a power. And I remember watching from the stage, as I have a video of it. I'll send it to you so you have it.
I would love to see
Yeah,
that, because
it's
that
really,
vibration of everybody singing together. Oh my God.
yeah.
Because I have goosebumps all over. You
It
just
was
talking.
so cool. So I think that we're going to get to this place where we can come together in a an arena or a room, or whatever, one or many, and we can sing together in a way that when we put our energy and our attention into healing the world together, that energy goes out and it wraps the world in this frequency, and
Yeah.
we heal at the same time. So this is where I realize just the power of music is very much where we come together and we unite. So yeah.
Music is so healing, and the vibration of music is so important. And what you listen to is so important. I mean, it could have enough to just knock you down or bring you up and just really bring joy to you.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, even just singing happy, happy, joy, joy when I'm frustrated or something really shifts me, you know?
And one other thing that I just wanted to say to just sort of pump that up a little. So in 2011, God showed me through Dr. Maya Angelou's work. That was my first real teaching from God. She's the best spiritual teacher, in my opinion, on so many levels about how to action your soul. And she actually taught me in 2011 after my dad's suicide, which was really a brutal time for me, but that words have power, and that one day we'll be able to measure how much power each word has. And, in the Bible, it's first there was the word, and we have to remember that the words that go out of us create things. They get into the walls, they get into the carpets, and then they get into us. So if you're going to really want to change your life, use the words that are constructive and powerful and love, peace, joy, happiness, prosperity sort of words. And that goes out. And I had this awareness with her work, and then with Louise Hay's work with thoughts have power. And when these two things come together, something happens. In music, I've sort of added sort of like Maya and Louise together with my work with God. And that energy in affirmations is sort of what I have been shown to write about with God's love. And in arenas like the one in Farum in Copenhagen, where I was in Denmark with Bruce Lipton, I had people that ran up to me that have had back pain for like 8 years. This one woman came and she's like, I don't know what happened, but like I connected to God or source, and I haven't had relief of this in like 8 years. What just happened? And I'm like, you just connected your love inside of you to God. And that's where we're at. Like, it's that simple. So I think we're in these times where we need to really clear our entire frequency path, the blocks that you help people with. Like, we need to clear that out. And then we just basically become sort of in tune with Creator. And when we're in tune with that, every day just clean that connection and bring that divine love into us. And when you do, things change very fast. So
very, very fast. Yeah. Because it's our thoughts, it's our feelings, and it's our emotions that create everything. And when you talk about spelling and the vibration of that, it's spelling. You're casting a spell every time you write things down or talk about them or think about them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're creating that. Yeah.
So you have to be really mindful of just how you create and co-create ultimately. So yeah, anyways, absolutely. I love that we were able to talk about that. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I think that's such an important message. We're going to be right back. We have to take a commercial because it's we have to take commercial, you guys. So we're going to take like a 2 or 3 minute break, and we'll come right back with Paul.
OMTimes TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities. Do you want to go deeper into sacred activations, which is a subconscious meta-programming process? Tamra Oviatt is inviting you to visit her website at tamraoviatt.com to sign up and get lifetime access to free 7 activations that you can listen to anytime you want or as often as you need. If you like what Tamra does and like to incorporate sacred activations into your life, she also offers live webinars, masterclasses, and practitioners training to further support your healing, manifestations, and expansion. There are hundreds of activations on her website that address different aspects of your life: money, health, relationships, intuitive abilities, and more. Head over to her website at tamraoviatt.com and experience the magic of sacred activations. Thank you for listening.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to start using this because I like to play music before we get started while everybody's coming on.
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
start
great. I
sharing
love
your
that.
songs with everybody.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's funny. I love the word home, and Om was in that. So it really grabbed my attention, and I was like, wow, Om Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vibration of Om.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that one of your teachers, Louise Hay.
Yes.
She was definitely one of my first teachers. I went through that book, You Can Heal Your Life. I don't know how many times.
No, it's amazing when I think about it. So I teach a class. I usually do 2 sort of classes every year, and I just finished one actually last weekend. I did an 8-week Heal Your Life course online, and I was the teacher, and it was very interesting. Like every time you do it, you just realize that there's so much in it. And Louise was just such a pioneer of, I think, just that whole concept. So. And you know, she's published so many people that we love, like Wayne Dyer, Bruce Lipton, Anita Morjani, etc., etc. And you know, it's important that we remember these books right now more than ever. I think, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get to interview Neil Donald Walsh coming up in February.
That's exciting.
I know, I'm so excited. I absolutely love him. I love his books, Learning to Listen to God.
I was beside Bruce. So Bruce, we had a pre-dinner before our event in Copenhagen, and he sat beside me, which I thought was interesting. And we've also at the United Nations in New York was the last time I had seen Bruce in person, and I was singing at the UN with him. And he sat beside me, and we had the most beautiful time. But he talked about all of his beautiful posse of friends that they all work together. You know, Greg Braden, all of them get together, and they all sort of circuit. But it was amazing. So I'm so happy. You know, I'm excited for you in the world that you're doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. I absolutely love what I'm doing. I've wanted to do this. I've seen visions of this for years. I mean, before I saw that I was doing healing work or anything, I mean, they were pounding on me in the late 90s. You're supposed to be a healer. You're supposed to be a healer. You're supposed to be a healer. And I didn't understand any of it. It's like, what do you mean I'm supposed to be a healer?
I get that.
You know, but at 18, I healed my cat, but I put that under the rug because I can't do that. You know what I mean? I saw this total miracle happen and it blew me away and it kind of shocked me and I just kept it quiet.
Yeah. As we do, right? As we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
journey.
Yeah. It took me a long time. They were yelling at me like crazy. They still do sometimes. I mean, they were telling me for years to quit eating bread. So I didn't eat much bread, so it wasn't a problem, right? And then I got the sourdough bakery here in Mexico, and I was so excited. I was eating bread all the time, and it messed me up. And I was in England. I was told to go to Glastonbury. So I went to Glastonbury for 2 weeks, and oh my God, what a transformation for me those 2 weeks were. It was absolutely beautiful. I got to connect with my assistants, my helpers, and really just Glastonbury. I'm not sure if you've been there before. Oh my God, I absolutely love Glastonbury, but I ate a bunch of bread one night and oh my God, I was up all night and I heard, stop eating bread. And at that point I went, okay, I got it. So now I'm being totally gluten-free and my life's just, I feel so much better.
That's
wonderful. My engagement ring was falling off my hands within like 4 days.
Wow.
So the puffiness in my body and everything was going down. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's a
now
big
I'm,
story. That's amazing. I actually released my my Love Expanding Love album from London, England. We lived in Queen's Park, so it was sort of this
oh
wild
yeah.
time. So I love that you brought up England. Yeah.
Oh God, I absolutely love Glastonbury. Pippa says hi from Glastonbury.
There you go.
So she's there now.
Hi, Pippa.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done an event there before and I've taught there before, but online and some, but I'm going to be going back next year and definitely be doing a training there.
I
Um,
was in London, England. I love the St. James Church in London, England. You never know, maybe we'll do something together. That'd be fun.
that, oh my God, that would be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
Because I mean, one reason why I'm doing this, because I believe we should all be coming together, working together. It's easier to find us together than it is separate.
Yep.
In my analogy, I always use it's like you go to a mall to go shoe shopping because you have 10 different shoe stores to choose from, so you can find what you're looking for.
Yeah, well
Whereas
said.
this, yeah, and it's the same thing with healers and different modalities and different ways to heal, because music, of course, is a huge way to heal your life.
Mhm.
And so when we come together, we're able to help massive people. And
Mhm.
that's what we're supposed to be doing. It's not supposed to be a competition, just you or just me. It's
Exactly.
we're all in this together.
Yeah, it's that co-creation energy. That's what it's all about. We all have this
Yeah,
energy, and that includes the audience too, by the way. I love including
of
the
course.
audience. Like that's the way it actually happens. This whole spotlight on stage stuff for me, like I only like audiences that are understanding that the stage is actually them as well. So, yeah,
Right.
we're all in it together.
We're all in it together. And we couldn't be doing what we're doing unless people showed up,
Exactly.
So we're here to help, we're here to serve and to love each other, really.
And
And
it's
that's what it's
great
all
things
about.
and exciting things happen when you do. And I think we've just touched the surface of that. And what happens when we actually really amp it up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah. And really connect and get out of the fear of the future, everybody. There's a lot of messages about fear of the future. I totally and completely believe we're all in this together and that we're not going to ascend separately or differently. I think we all ascend together. I don't believe in the separation programs that are out there, or that all that fear that people are selling. And so I just wanted to get that message out there to everybody. We're not dying off. We're not going to end. We're not going down to 1,000 humans on the planet. We're
Yeah, the
all
one
in
thing
this
that
together.
before coming here, like I always have a shower sort of to just bring in some energy before doing something public, right? And the shower is really important. So I did like a workout, a walk, I did my like daily spiritual thing. And then in the shower, which is where I receive a lot of messages, one
Yeah.
of the things that I was meant to say today out loud is that it's going to be okay. And
Yeah.
I know that we need to remember, like, just tell yourself that, first of all, it's going to be okay. And you are now the parent, really, of yourself. You are now your father and your mother. And as you do that, of course, they have important roles to play, but you ultimately, as an ascended being, are actually needing to remind yourself, all is well, all shall always be well, and I am well, all shall be well in my world, and that it's going to be okay. We're going to get this. We've got this together.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Beautifully
We do
said.
have this together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I know you have a new album out. How do they buy it?
Yeah.
How
So
do they get it?
So everything's kind of like in this shifting process in my life. So if you want anything from me, you have to send an email. And the reason why I do it this way, if you want a physical copy, that's the how. And then if you want a digital download, you can do that through iTunes, or you can ask me directly and I can send you my entire catalog actually. So the best thing actually is just, I have a little tiny crew, including myself. So if you send me a message to my email, which is info at my name, it's a long name, paulluftenegger.com, but it's on my website. And you can send me an email. My website is bekindness.com. So it's BEE kindness.com. So like a bumblebee, BEE kindness.com. And I sort of feel like a bumblebee that I meant to pollinate love and kindness with my music.
I love that.
And I think that when we collectively, pollinate love with each other, the world actually creates the nectar that we all get to experience called heaven. So send me an email, look online, my website, and just keep in touch with me through social media. I'm always very much a part of my social media. I have a beautiful worldwide community, and just look me up
Yeah.
on Facebook. I love Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Facebook too. I've been watching you grow over the years, and I'm always smiling and so happy for you, and to watch the changes and stuff you're making and getting out there and being global and then getting global awards. I'm seriously, I'm here. I'm your cheerleader.
Thank you
And
so much.
I'm
Thank you so
so
much.
excited for you.
Thank you. I'm excited to meet you too. I know I've seen, we sort of connect sort of in these odd little moments, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually bring this together now, because I think that when we unite this way, I can't wait to sort of unite our communities to sort of have that reach within our community, together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's about supporting each other.
Absolutely.
And you guys, music is so, 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 so important. What you listen to. I mean, what I used to listen to, some of it I can't listen to anymore.
Yeah.
I hear it and I just turn it off. And it used to be one of my favorite songs,
Yep.
and now I can't even listen to it. And the music I listen to is uplifting music and things that bring me happiness and joy and make me feel good. And that is so important. It could shift your whole day, it could shift your whole life by listening to good music. And so I was so excited to have you on, Paul, and to talk to you about this. And I was so thankful you got to share some of your music with us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to everybody too that's here. If you're watching this live or on a replay, God bless you. Send you so much love and light, and the best is yet to come.
It is.
Yeah.
And you guys, you got to get excited about that. The best is yet to come, because like you said, creating your heaven on earth, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm living my heaven on earth.
Yeah, me too.
I'm living it. Yeah. You're living in Bermuda, you said, plus
Yeah, so,
Canada.
we live nomadically, but we sort of go back between Canada and Bermuda. That's sort of like our deal. And then obviously on the road, I've been living in Europe this whole summer actually. So I was over there, and then I'm back in Canada now, but just to relax a little bit, because it's been a big summer. And I have to say, COVID was really hard on me. So I think just be gentle, everybody be gentle with yourself as we sort of move out of this triggered sort of space that we've been in. And most importantly, own your power. You have free will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Much appreciated. Much love to you. I look forward to connecting with you again. You guys make sure you go to bekind.com, get some of his music, play it in the background with whatever you're doing. I'm going to start playing it on some of my shows on the openings.
Yeah. So and it's bekindness.com. So bekindness.com. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
With BEE. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay.
All right, you guys, we're going to do some activations. Thank you. Some sacred activations about being in your light and being in your love. Leonard is always amazing in hearing you. I saw him in the chat window. Pillar of light. I think that's a really good message about bringing that energy and that love into your life. It's a more advanced activation than I normally do with my practitioners on a master practitioner class. We really work on this pillar of light, but I want you to just imagine that you can go inside and go into your heart and imagine that you can bring your energy up into God energy. So just close your eyes and imagine your energy is going up into God energy. And then bringing your energy all the way down. Imagine that you can bring your energy into Mother Earth's heart chakra. And like a tree, the energy flows up and down. So I want you to imagine that energy is just flowing up and down through like your tree trunk. And when you're feeling down and out or overwhelmed or not feeling well, you can do this all on your own. Just bringing this energy in. Bringing this energy in from God through every single cell of your body. Bringing it all the way into Mother Earth. Bringing it back up. I'm also going to run the Heaven on Earth activation. So just stay in your heart as I do this. Heaven is on earth. Heaven is in your heart. So connecting into this energy. This love and light flowing through your body. Just take a nice big deep breath in. And breathe out. Feeling that peace in your heart. Feeling calm and relaxed. Knowing that heaven is right here inside of you. Letting go of all the worries of the day. I want you just to take your time to open your eyes. And I want you to stay in this pillar of light energy as you look around and you start to notice things are much brighter and lighter and happier. Feeling the peace, love, joy, and happiness going through every single cell of your body. We are here for you always. We're here to support you. If you would like to be live on the recording call, make sure you join up on my website if you're listening to the replays. And everybody that's joined in, thank you so much for being here. I can't do this without you. I don't want to do this without you. I absolutely love having you here in person as much as we can be together. It means so much to me. My body vibrates with goosebumps and excitement that you're here and that I can serve, and my guests like Paul and all my guests that come on here. I'm so thankful that I can bring them on and to share with you, because we're all in this together, and whatever I can do to support you in your growth. And what I mean by growth is that you're happy and you're enjoying yourself. I was talking to somebody before the class started. She said she stopped doing things that doesn't bring her joy. If it doesn't bring her joy, she doesn't do it. And I'm like, perfect. Exactly. That's what we're supposed to do. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. Only do what brings you joy and happiness. And we don't have to learn through suffering anymore. We can learn through joy and happiness. We can do that. And that's our choice to do that. So if you start suffering and things start going on, shift your focus to love, joy, and happiness. Sing happy, happy, joy, joy. Go over to Paul's music, listen to some of his songs. You know, it's all about the vibration. It's all about the vibration. And whatever we do, we are creating that throughout the world. We're sharing that with the collective consciousness from ourselves. So I want you to remember that. We've got practitioner training coming up. I'm really excited to be offering it again. If you guys like what I do and you feel some shifts from it and you want to go deeper into this or help other people with it, on the calendar on on tamraoviatt.com. We do have Sacred Activation Practitioner coming up. You can come to Mexico in person if you would like to do that, but mainly we're doing it online. And then later on in the year, I will be having a facility in Cancun. So if you guys want to come to Cancun for a week and do some training and go to some of the sacred sites, absolutely beautiful. Paul's putting some links down here for you guys if you're on listening now. So go ahead and click on his links and go over to his sites. I want to thank you for joining me so much. I will be back. We'll be doing this again on Tuesday, and I'm really excited to connect with you again. We're going every Tuesday throughout the year, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you again so much for joining up. And thank you so much, Paul, for coming on and giving your time and your beautiful message to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Bye.
Choices